Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Utah Hockey Game Day here live on the Utah Hockey Broadcast Channel. This is Patrick McGann alongside Mitchell Slott. We're live here in Salt Lake City for Game 2 between San Diego State University and the University of Utah. A absolute beautiful day here in Salt Lake City, 55 degrees and sunny. Not your typical hockey weather, but Mitchell, we're very happy to be here.
Yes, we are, and it is a great day for hockey. I always get excited waking up knowing we get to watch the boys play right in front of us. It's always good hockey. It's a lot of battles, a lot of heart being shown. Last night was another example of that very thing.
Utah getting the W 5-1 last night. Team USA also getting the W today, taking care of business over there in Milan. Utah looking to take care of business. Their second to last home series of the year here in beautiful Salt Lake City, playing against San Diego State. Good game last night, proves to be a good game again tonight.
Yeah, it does, and it's just a leader into next week with even more on the line than tonight, or this weekend rather.
Lots on the line. Utah still fighting for a national tournament playoff berth. That tournament coming up in a couple of weeks. Utah currently sitting at 12th in the country. They need to be inside that top 20-ish realm. With the auto bids, you can get pushed around. So right now, pretty secure at 12, but a big game tonight, Mitchell.
Yeah, it is a big game. We need to win. We cannot take a loss. And tonight, as opposed to last night, San Diego State has a full roster, minus a couple players that got banged up a little bit last night in the game. But all in all, they have a full roster.
We are going to send it to the game day video from yesterday. Take it away. We're with Utah and San Diego State. Puck drop is just moments away. Welcome to the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for night 2 between San Diego State and University of Utah Skate Utes M1 hockey action here live from Salt Lake City. Once again, Patrick McGann alongside my fine partner, Mitchell Slott. Very happy to be here for Game 2 of the series. Mitchell, last night Utah was victorious 5-1, looking for a sweep against San Diego State this afternoon.
Yeah, we are. And last night, there we go. Sorry, little technical difficulty. I thought I pressed the button. Yeah, last night we went to work all game long. There wasn't a letdown in any part of the game. We came up against a goaltender that was standing on his head, 73 shots to 14. He stopped 68 of them. You know, you can't really complain about that when you're getting those kind of shots, when you're putting that kind of pressure on, and you run up against a very hot tender. Not a lot you can do. We did talk to a couple of the boys after the game. They mentioned a little frustration, but they want to take that frustration out tonight. And we'll see if Sal from last night gets a start tonight. Maybe he's tired. Maybe they want to rest him. Don't want him to have too much action because that's a lot of action. 73 shots is a ton. So I don't think I don't know if they are going to start him or not. But if they do, there's a potential he could be fatigued. If they don't start him, a whole different goaltender. You
had mentioned this last night, but San Diego State had quite a few players that their bags got caught up with the travel on the airplane. So they've gotten those players back today. They had more of a full team in warm-ups today, so that'll make a big difference. Their bench was very short last night, down to 10 skaters at one point, talking to one of the coaches from San Diego State. So with that being said, that changes the dynamic quite a bit.
Oh, absolutely. Now fatigue from tonight's game isn't a factor. It's whether or not the fatigue from last night's game will be a factor because they do have a full bench. They do have 3 lines forward, 3 lines D. So with that, I mean, that's a full lineup. That's all you can ask for. But what gas do they have left in the tank from last night? Because again, last night we started about 8 p.m. We're gonna start here about 5 o'clock tonight. Not even a 24-hour rest, even at 20, 22, 23 years old. That's taxing.
Absolutely. With that being said, one of those players returning who didn't play last night, San Diego State captain Ryan Elleraz. Molly talked with him during warmups. We'll send it down to Molly with that conversation.
Hey, Utes fans, it's Molly. I'm here with Ryan. Okay, tell me, Ryan, how do you feel after last night's performance?
I thought we came out, right, with a different system than usual, right? It worked most of the time. We just can't do more offense.
And what's the mindset heading into tonight?
Ready to go. Fired up. Boys are ready to go.
Alrighty, thank you very much. We'll see you after the first period.
Thanks, Molly. She was talking with Ryan Elleraz. That's the captain of the San Diego State Skating Aztecs down there, and he will be on the ice with them tonight.
Yeah, because he wasn't on the ice last night. Not having your captain, your team's leader, sitting in the stands watching rather than playing, when you know that's all he wanted to do last night was get on the ice and help his boys out. Not being able to do that, he's going to have a score to settle coming into tonight's game. So maybe he can make something happen, put more than one goal behind the attendee of the University of Utah. We'll see. I mean, tonight's going to be a completely different situation than last night.
Completely different. I mean, if you're San Diego State, you leave that game feeling pretty confident. I mean, Utah won that one 5-1, but you were in that game almost till the very end.
Yeah.
You're getting, I mean, probably almost double the amount of skaters back. You got more depth. You're here at altitude for an extra day. You're probably feeling pretty confident if you're San Diego State tonight.
Oh, yeah, because they did a good job through the first 2 periods. I mean, at the end of 1, we were knotted at 0. At the end of 2, we were 1-1, and then gas. It was all gas. But they did a good job through the first 2 periods, clogging up the center, pushing the Utes to the perimeter, tying up sticks, blocking shots, intercepting some passes, reading the stretch passes really well. Several of those were broken up too. So they had a good game. They just ran out of gas in the tank. And I know I sound redundantly repetitive, but that was the key to last night's game for the Utes, because they played a very solid game. You can't say they didn't play a solid game when you get 73 shots on net.
I mean, I was just about to say, let's turn it to Utah now. You played an excellent game. You get all those shots on net. We say 73.
Yeah.
That's as good of a game as you can have. And we talked about it on the broadcast. What do? You just keep shooting and hope the dam breaks, and eventually it did. For Utah, more of the same tonight.
Absolutely. I think if you're Utah, you don't change a thing. There's been a couple player switches tonight. We'll talk, the player that was downstairs with Holly, Eli Fletcher. He's going to be on the ice tonight. He wasn't last night. Also, Cole Bisson's in the lineup tonight. Wasn't in there last night. So there's new blood on the ice for the Utes as well, and we'll see what they can sustain tonight.
With that being said, let's send it back down to ice side with Molly. She did talk with Eli Fletcher down there at the bench during warmups. We'll send it down to her right now.
Hey, Utes fans, it's Molly. I'm here with Eli Fletcher. Okay, tell me, Eli, what's the focus heading into tonight's matchup?
It was a short turnaround last night, so obviously get after them right away. Pucks deep, just get on them.
And is there anything specific things you've worked on over the night for today?
Not really, no. The focus is just playing our game, not getting away from that, not letting our emotions and frustrations show. So, yeah.
All right, thank you very much. We'll see you after the first period.
Thank you, Molly. That was Molly with Eli Fletcher, as we had mentioned. So now we're getting ready for puck drop. Any keys to the game tonight, Mitchell? I mean, you had some good ones last night. Utah did play a good game last night. It's just a matter of getting pucks in the net.
Yeah, I think patience. I think patience is going to be key tonight for the Utes, because you are going to have that new blood that didn't play last night. 1 day rested, fresh legs, with an axe to grind, being that they couldn't play last night. So I think if the Utes remain patient, along with the speed and the physicality, good defense, protect the house first, like I always say, I think if they do that and they stay patient and don't get too frustrated, especially if they don't get an early goal, that's going to make things a little bit easier for them, so they don't get upset as the game goes on.
So with that being said, that we will close out our pre-game show. Utah and San Diego State up next. Puck drop live from Salt Lake City. It's game 2. Utes looking for the weekend sweep. Don't touch that remote because we've got Utah hockey coming your way just moments away.
Here on the campus of the University of Utah for this evening's ACHA Division I matchup featuring San Diego State and your University of Utah Skate Utes. Starting lineup for this evening's matchup, first for the visiting San Diego State. At defense, number 9, Ryan Elras. Defense, number 33, Connor Hennigan. Forward, number 7, Mason Brown. Forward, number 4, Guillaume Barber. Forward, number 10, Cameron Ferez. And in goal for San Diego, number 31, Liam D. Starting lineup for your University of Utah Skate Utes. At left defense, number 21, Matthew Delaney. At right defense, number 26, Jake Lorella. Left wing, number 14, Chase Forey. At center, number 13, Joseph Crowley. At right wing, number 4, Eli Fletcher. And in goal this evening, protecting your house, number 31, Joseph Grelich. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, if you'll kindly rise, remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Welcome back to the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting ready for puck drop between San Diego State and the University of Utah. Matinee today, Saturday afternoon hockey from Salt Lake City to close out this series, Utah's 8th home game of the season. 2 more remaining on the schedule.
Yeah, just 2 more after today. You know, big games, they cannot let up, not even for a second, Patrick.
Got to make them count as you try and march your way to the ACHA National Tournament being held in St. Louis, Missouri. Utah looking to go, after going last season, Utah, you know, they're trying to find their way at that national tournament. It'll be their 3rd year going in a row. Have not been too successful there, but it's not what matters. It just matters getting there. And once you're there, you play with what you got.
Yeah, make the best of it. You know, win or lose. Learn from the experience. Enjoy your time there. And know that, I mean, making it to the national championship is a very good benchmark for an organization. There's over 80 teams now in the ACHA. To be one of the top teams to make the nationals, not bad.
Here we go. Both teams on their feet on the benches. Game number 2, Aztecs and Utes. Puck is down at 4,500 feet. We're off. San Diego State controls after the faceoff. They skated into the Utah zone. It bounces right back into the neutral zone for them to reset. It's dumped all the way in. behind Joey Greilich there, your starting goaltender for the University of Utah.
It's the first real possession for Utah in the game. See what they can do with it.
Forey behind the net for the Utes, and there's a save. And we'll get a stoppage in play.
Yeah, it's a couple guys. Forey was not in the lineup last night. Fletcher, another forward, number 13, was also not in the game last night. That's
Joseph Crowley.
Yeah, Joseph Crowley. He was not in last night, and defenseman Cole Bisson. So 4 new skaters, at least that we've noticed so far, that are in the lineup tonight that weren't in last night. So very fresh legs, and just like the players for San Diego State that weren't on, got a little axe to grind and want to make their mark on the series.
Most notably, starting goaltender is Liam D, number 31 in black for San Diego State, as there's a shot from the Utes knocked wide by him, as they will give Sal the night off after having an incredible performance last night. So there's Crowley behind the net for the Utes. Forey fighting for it down there. And there's Brandon Grant down there with him as well for San Diego State. That Utah dumps it back in. And it's played all the way out.
Yeah, decent cycle for the Utes. Sustained some pressure there. Unable to get a real solid scoring opportunity, but possession in the zone is always a good thing.
Here comes Fletcher. He fires a shot, and it's blockered out of play by Liam D.
And for the Utes, Joseph Greilich is in net as opposed to Garrett Fuller. And speaking of Fullers, that leads me into the referees for tonight. Matt Orr and Brett Fuller are the head referees, and the linesmen are Ben Fraley and Sean Hauk. Like that segue?
There you go. Perfect.
I don't know about perfect.
Utah fires out to score! Paul Waldhauser gets the Utes on the board early. 1-0 Utah. Right off the face-off, your leading point getter for the University of Utah, Paul Waldhauser.
Wow. And you know, we talked about early goals last night, and the Utes get their first goal just a minute and 20 in. And there's the replay right there. Good shot by Waldhauser in the slot. You can't ask for a better angle to get a good shot off, and Waldhauser definitely made it count.
His 14th of the season. Not even a minute and a half into the contest. And Utah picking up where they left off late in the third period last night. Here they come the other way. Waldhauser fires a wrist shot. Good save by D. Another shot. Sails wide as Tex will skate it out. Sandberg over to Waldhauser. Waldhauser across the line, peeling back. Point to point it goes to Senden. Karsten Senden, head fakes. Fires a wrist shot just wide. It will ring all the way around the boards and out. Greilich out to play the puck with his stick. He leaves it for Sandberg.
Particulars on that goal. Goal scored by Paul Waldhauser, assisted by Jean Carré. Time of that goal, 1:20, gives the Utes a 1-0 lead.
We didn't see any goals in the first period last night, so Utah starting things off early this afternoon. There's a hit on Bisson, but he maintains possession for the Utes. Nice pass to the stick of Larilla. Larilla skating it into the zone for Utah. He's pushed off the puck there by Stevenson. Stevenson with it once more for San Diego State. Kruchek with it at the line. It's eventually slid out by Gary and Barber. Bisson skates it right back in. He fires a shot, and D will cover it up.
So good start for the Utes. You know, you mentioned it, no goals in the first period at all last night by either team. Less than a minute and a half into the first period, the Utes have the lead. You can't ask for a better start if you're Morgan Feeney, the head coach for the University of Utah, than getting the first goal in a minute and a half. Now they need to sustain.
You build on that as Slater will send a pass to the point. Sykes is there, back over to Slater. Slater point pass, wrist shot, good save. Nice shot by Bisson. They score! Off the rebound, it's Sykes! Utes up 2-0. Spencer Sykes
What a good goal, too. And that was a rebound goal. The initial shot came. Lee couldn't hold on to it, and Sykes made it count. Good look at the replay there. We'll get another look at it from behind the net. He tries to play it down with his glove, and it just bounces out of the glove right onto Sykes' stick.
His third of the year, as Utah will dump and chase again. Good tempo for the Utes to start things off. Gibney, one-timer intended for Slater. Bouncing around, jumping out of the net was D. Now it'll be Sykes. Skating with it, the shift after his goal. Behind the net with some momentum. Up at the point, and it's knocked loose. Forcing a reset from Utah. Active stick there from Ryan Elleraz.
That goal scored at 3:08 by Sykes, assisted by the defenseman, Cole Bisson.
Shot deflected wide. Shot from Lorilla at the point, deflected up into the protective netting, so we'll have a whistle.
D. Not D. I said Lee earlier. It's D. Liam D. I got my lystexia.
Liam D in net tonight, and Brody Sowell last night, their other goaltender. We've talked about it, and we talked about it all last night. There's a one-time place. Oh, my goodness. I thought that went in.
Went off the back of the net.
Looked very close. Good setup there from the Utes. To finish that point, Brody Sowell, an incredible game last night, and obviously you got to give him the rest after facing almost 70 shots. So now the Utes will reset. There's the captain, Jake Lorilla, for Utah in his own corner. To Delaney. Delaney over to Forey. Forey into the zone. He backhands it deeper in. Crowley, near side corner. Forey skating away with it, then he's pickpocketed. Puck's bouncing around at the blue line. I think it did make its way out eventually. Looks like it is just on the outside of the zone. There's a scrum on the near side. Good shot of it there right along the blue line. Sendin looking for Schwab just outside of his reach. Behind the play there was Brown. Brown skates it in, but good back check there by the Utes to break that up.
Schwab had a really nice breakaway goal last night to get the Utes an early second period lead. First goal of the night last night in the second period.
Cray near side half wall, top of the circle for Waldhauser. Rips a wrist shot, good save. Rebounds loose in the slot. What a nice move by Schwab and a good save by D. Sendin towards the net, deflected wide. I believe D got a piece of it. Waldhauser at the point. Stick handles towards the net. Cray skates away with it. It's the stick of Sandberg, who fires a wrist shot, and it's gloved up by D.
Yeah, good look there by Correa to find Sandberg breaking in pretty quick.
And there's that replay of that one-timer I thought went in the net, just hitting the side.
Yeah, from our vantage point, because the net moved.
Even there, I mean, in behind the net, it almost looked like it went in as well.
Yeah.
But yeah,
darn physics.
Yeah. I mean, we've got the protective netting around the entire rink here. There's a one-timer deflected up and out of play into that netting. It's around the entire rink here because of the low glass, so that kind of makes things a little bit harder for us up here. You can see that netting on your screen now.
Yeah, Utes off to a really good start. I'm really liking their puck pursuit right now, and again, they're supporting each other very well tonight, just like they did last night. And getting the puck deep and getting shots. Shot count right now, 13-0 in favor of the Utes.
Looking a lot like last night in terms of shots. Here comes San Diego State looking for their first. Good block by Bisson to prevent that. So now to be John Correa. He peels back, reverses play to the far side. Bisson gets it out, and now it's Waldhauser back the other way. He's got Correa behind him. Waldhauser skating it in, driving behind the net, wrapping around to the near side. Keeps it in at the line for Bisson. Bisson fires a shot, sticked away by D. And now to be Larilla. Larilla behind the net. Far side corner to the point. Fires a shot. Just wide. And San Diego State will clear the zone, but that will go for icing. And San Diego State, just looking at their roster, it's a full roster. So that baggage issue, I mean, plays a huge factor. And if you're San Diego State, obviously you got to be more than frustrated with, I was told it was Southwest Airlines was the culprit.
I wasn't going to mention any names.
But, I mean, that's plays a factor in your season. I mean, they played a great game last night. And then they had a short bench, 10 players.
Yeah, I mean, and the effort that they put out last night, like we spoke of in the pregame, outstanding. You can't ask, if you're the coach, you can't ask for anything more. And, I think part of that is, hockey teams oftentimes, become like a brotherhood. And you don't want to let your brothers down that can't be on the ice for whatever reason.
They shoot and score. Kruchek scoops up the rebound. And the Utes make it 3-0 early here in the first period. Kruchek had 2 last night, gets another tonight.
Good weekend for Trevor Kruchek. So far, there's still a lot of hockey left to play.
That's right.
Time of that goal, 5:59. And San Diego is going to take a timeout.
And he just scooped up that rebound, no problem. And, yeah, as you said, Mitchell, a timeout called by San Diego State. I mean, last night you play such a tight first period, and all of a sudden it's 3-0.
Yeah, just like that. And we're going to have another look at the replay there
in a moment. There we go.
There we go. So, yeah, it's sent right to the net. I couldn't see the stick okay, there you go. And, yeah, I mean, what a good play. I mean, that's what you need to do if you're the Utes. Crash the net, get to the net fast, look for rebounds, because I think one of the things that the Utes have already picked up on is that D is giving up some rebounds that are rebounds that you can capitalize on. They're not being kicked all the way to the sideboards or being gobbled up and held on to. He's given a couple rebounds. One of the other goals was let in because he tried to glove it down, missed time, the closure on the glove bounced in front of him, and it was played in. I believe that was Sykes' goal. And so if you're the Utes, that's what you're looking for. And I believe, for Dean Wilson, the head coach for San Diego, let's keep – I'm sure he probably mentioned something about that to the boys. Like, let's watch out for rebounds. Let's clear out the front of the net, not allow the Utes to capitalize inside the hash marks.
What a nice pass there for Utah. That was Brady Schwab on his back making that pass to keep the puck moving forward. Here's Kruchek. He skates it in. High slot. One-timer. They shoot. They score. That did make its way in. That crossed the line. And the Utes make it 4-0. And it looks like that will be Jake Larilla, your goal scorer. Zach Larilla, his brother. And he made no mistake. Here's the replay. Kruchek, nice pass, hits the post and finds its way in.
Yeah, and if you watch this, there's a couple Utes right on top. So even if it hadn't gone in, there was a Ute stick to poke it in, but it rolled in, trickled in, if you would.
And so San Diego State will dump the puck all the way in, and Utah blowing this thing open. Just over 13 minutes into the game. Sykes skating it all the way in for the Utes. Over to Gibney.
So this is a game, Patrick, that I'm going to be watching the discipline of San Diego. 4 early goals, all within the first 10 minutes of the first period. After battling so hard last night, good discipline game. We only had 4 penalties or so in the game last night. And, 5 penalties in the game last night, which is a very disciplined game by both teams, especially given the competitive level that the game was last night. Right now, the game's getting a little out of control for San Diego. Doesn't mean they can't reel it in and kind of tighten things up defensively, but oftentimes this is where discipline becomes a factor, and it's key that San Diego remains disciplined, as does the Utes. Otherwise, it could kill their momentum.
Right, and when you get into blowouts, that's when, players start jostling around. You get the penalties that you shouldn't be taking. So for Utah, it's just you don't partake, you skate away, and usually you end up pretty good. Ascendon will skate and drive towards the net. Good save. Fletcher fires one. It was blocked. Looks like that was Connor Hennigan on the block there for San Diego State. Utah maintains possession, however. They've got it. Ascendon at the point. Wrists one, just wide.
Looked like he was looking for a deflection in front.
Utes again with it towards the slot. They had another good chance. Now it's a 3-on-2 the other way for San Diego State, but the pass is errant, and that actually will go for icing.
Looking for San Diego to mount some sort of offense here in the first period. Right now, they still aren't credited with a shot on net, as almost 9 minutes has expired here in the first period. They've been hemmed into their zone because the Utes came out with all pistons firing.
Utah played San Diego State in their barn back in October down there in sunny Southern California. Utah put up 8 goals in both of those games, an 8-1 victory, an 8-2 victory. Last night they won 5-1, so a much closer game as we've been talking about if you did not tune in last night. So Utah victorious 5-1, now 4 goals in the first period of game number 2. So a good result for Utah so far, but obviously tons of hockey left in this one as here they come. They skated in. Gibney passes to Slater, fires a wrist shot, glove save by D.
Yeah, good save by D to read that drop pass and make the stop. Hold on to it this time and get the whistle, allow his boys to change. And like we said last night, all you're looking for out of your goaltender, make the first stop and, try to, you want to get it out from in front of the net if there's a rebound, but primarily your defensemen are there to clear it out too. So if D can make that first stop, that's going to bode well for San Diego State.
Gibney cycling back. He still has possession. Oh, what a move there at the top of the circle. He passes it over to Slater. Slater shooting, deflects up into the air and behind the net. Sykes, he skates with it, leaves it there for Slater, backhands a shot, jumps up into the air, and then knuckles out of the zone. Slater with some speed across the line. Leaves it for Gibney. Gibney to Bisson. Bisson driving, near side half wall into the corner. Point pass. Kept in by Larilla. That pass was just off the mark, and San Diego State will counter. Here comes Hennessy. He fires a shot blocked by Larilla. Slater over to Sykes. Sykes back over to Larilla. He'll dump it in. Utah will get a change.
Making note of the shot count, one of the factors right now is the Utes are blocking shots. San Diego's had several shot attempts. They just haven't made it onto Greilich because of the defensive play in the Utes D zone.
Schwab skates it in, driving, and D wasn't able to get his glove on it, but San Diego State will get possession and get it out of the zone. They fire a shot that's high. Hollingsworth retrieves it. Sends one towards the net. Now to be Correa. Correa to Delaney. He passes it over to Waldhauser. Waldhauser towards the middle, broken up. And now it'll be Elleraz. Back and forth in the neutral zone, it's Correa. And now it'll go towards the Utah zone. Greilich out to play it. Nico Schwab has it on his stick. He's pinned up along the boards. Sandberg will cycle back. Send it over to Sendin. And now it'll be Waldhauser. Waldhauser into the zone. Head fakes, fires a wrist shot, and it's just high and wide. And that puck will bounce all the way down to the Utah zone, forcing another reset.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate for Sandberg because he was in the right position as that puck bounced off the boards coming off the stick of Waldhauser as it just went over the net and bounced right as it got to him.
Zach Larilla firing a shot, a pad save. Now it'll be Bisson. Oh, a bad pass there. Barber was right there, but Utah recovers. It'll be Bisson looking for Zach Larilla. Schwab breaks that pass up from the stick of Brown. And now the Utes will reset. Brady Schwab. Backhand dish over to Bisson, who dumps it in. Utah will pressure D, so he will cover it up and force a whistle.
And one of the things I want to mention is Schwab just made that play, talking about Brady Schwab. I'm looking for him to get on the board tonight. He was left off the score sheet last night, and he's one of those types of players for the University of Utah that can make things happen. He's got great hands, good vision, nice speed whenever he's breaking. I mean, he skates hard all the time, but he's one of those players kind of like Waldhauser that can kind of be a catalyst for the Utes. And I know he's going to want to get on the boards after not getting on the board last night.
He's 6th in points on the team with 10. Now it'll be Delaney. He dumps it in. Hits the line official. Aztecs dump it into the Utah zone. Delaney behind Greilich. Start things off here. He falls over. He was tripped there.
Yeah, first penalty of the game. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I just saw it. It'll be a trip. That will go against San Diego.
Aiden Morietti, a minor for tripping.
Time of that penalty, 13:34.
So Utah to the power play. 2 power play goals last night for the Skating Utes.
Yeah, 50% on the weekend so far.
Not bad. Take that anytime you can get that. It's an explosive power play, as we know. Waldhauser to the point for Delaney. Delaney to Correa, top of the circle. Delaney, Correa, Waldhauser, far side. Waldhauser high slot. Lets a shot rip. Good save. Looks like it was blocked on the way. So now Brady Schwab sends it to the point for Waldhauser. Waldhauser and Delaney play catch. Waldhauser trying to go cross the zone. It's loose in the slot. A good shot by Brady Schwab. Utah recovers at the line, however. They still have possession. Waldhauser across the zone. Correa. Kruchek, he scores! What a pass from Jean Correa over to Trevor Kruchek in back-to-back games with 2 goals for Trevor Kruchek, and that one's on the power play.
Yeah, excellent play. Cross-ice pass right back over, and it is in. I mean, Kruchek made no hesitation to shoot the shot. He settled it down. We'll have a look at it here. Cross-ice pass. Oh, that's the earlier goal that just rolled in.
That was, I mean, you could see that one coming from all the way up here. Correa was able to zip that puck to the stick of Kruchek, and he made no mistake. Fletcher fires a wrist shot, and a good save by D. So Utah getting 5 goals in the first period. Last night it took them all game to get 5 goals, so a very positive result for Utah. They come out skating hard today and finding the shooting lanes, obviously, and doing a good job of doing that. 24 shots in the first period.
Yeah, and we're on par. I mean, we still have 5:36 left, but we're on pace, rather, to equal our shot output last night.
But even in the first period of last night's game, they didn't have over 20. I think it was 16 after the first. Here comes Senden. He has a shot. Good save by D.
Yeah, I think at the end of one last night, it was 16-3.
Yes. Looking like it could be 24-1 Adams right now. Here comes Forey. He has a shot. Good save by D. Fletcher wrapping it around, trying to find its way in the net.
Yeah, good job by D to keep that out because Fletcher was definitely pushing for it. Had about 5 opportunities in that second and a half.
Utes dump it in, get a couple to change. Crowley behind the net for Utah. Gibney peeling back. Pass over to Fletcher. Fletcher some head fakes, gets it towards the middle, and it'll be shoveled out by San Diego State. Gibney back to Johnson, over to Sykes, who's kind of upended there at the blue line.
Yeah, good step up there by number 33, Hennigan for San Diego. Prevented that puck from getting in, and now they're on the attack.
Utah takes the puck away. Here comes Slater. Slater into the zone for Utah, peeling back. Wrist shot blocked. Looking to retrieve his own rebound is Jacob Slater. Sykes sends it to Slater on the doorstep. Gibney, point pass Johnson. Fires a shot, and that goes up and out of play. Something we've talked about in previous broadcasts, worth mentioning in this broadcast, especially at this juncture in the season. Goal differential, it plays heavily into the computerized ranking in the ACHA, which determines your fate in terms of making nationals or not. So if you're Utah, running up the score here is actually beneficial to you. In the ACHA, you do see teams running up the score because it actually does affect their ranking. It's not, you don't stop playing after a certain point. You just continue playing hard and trying to find goals.
Yeah, you know, I think, I believe there's a limit. I think the goal differential is 7. After 7, it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
But, you know, we're not there yet, right? And,
right.
And San Diego's not done as they're pressing right now. Yeah, I think after 7 goals, it doesn't matter. There's no, as we have another penalty coming, I think that maybe interference will be the call. This will go against San Diego as well, so we'll see the power play for the University of Utah again. Time of that penalty, 16:35.
Cameron Faraz will sit. I'll make that 30 shots for Utah this period. They just updated the shot count. Kruchek looking to backhand one on net there, and San Diego State whacking it all the way down to the Utah side of the ice.
Yeah, looking for the hat trick here in the first period.
Waldhauser, he skates it in with some speed. There's a shot from Correa. Good save by D. Played off the wall and out. Delaney over to Schwab. Schwab dumps it in. And San Diego State gets possession and clears it back out.
Yeah, and this is a very important penalty kill for San Diego. With just 2:35 left, there'll be about a minute and a half left on the clock after this penalty expires, should they be able to kill it off. And, you know, they're down by 5 right now. And, you know, at some point there's kind of a tipping point, where a point of no return, so to speak, in a hockey game. And they're nearing that. Doesn't mean they're going to stop playing because they're being aggressive. They're doing what they need to do. Just not the same results as last night.
Waldhauser skating with it, peeling back. Over to Delaney across the zone. Delaney over to Waldhauser. And that play will be blown offside.
Yeah, Waldhauser couldn't, just a bit outside. You know, almost held it in, but good pursuit there by San Diego to get that out, because there's only 20 seconds left on that power play right now for the Utes. And like I said, I think this is a very important juncture of the game. Late in the first period, try to stabilize the game a little bit, because the first part of the first period got a little out of control for them, or a little, out of reach for them for the period. So if they can stabilize going into the intermission, it could be to their advantage going into the second.
And sometimes all you need is just that horn to sound, right? And just get a reset, get in the locker room. I mean, momentum is a thing. It's not necessarily tangible, but when the team's rolling or not rolling, the break can sometimes change that, as Zach Larilla fires a shot. And out of the box was Ferraz there, and he came bearing down there on Sandberg.
Starting to see a little bit of frustration out of the San Diego players.
Here's Giboney towing the line there to stay on side. Sandberg fires a shot, blocked in front, and San Diego State able to clear that one out. Nice pass by Grolick to Slater. 2-on-1 for the Utes if they hurry. Giboney, one-time shot, he scores! What a pass from Slater, but it all starts from Joey Grolick, who gets an assist on the play. We saw Fuller do that last night, and Joey Grolick, an excellent pass to the stick of Jacob Slater at the blue line as San Diego State was making a change, and Utah makes him pay for it. Here's Slater, he skates it in, and there's a 2-on-1. All Giboney had to do was just make sure his stick was on the ice, and that's going to go in the net.
Yeah, two very, very good passes. One started off by Grolick on that long stretch pass, and then Slater seeing Giboney cutting to the net. And like you said, all he had to do was have a stick on the ice, and it was in the net, because the goaltender had to commit to that shot from Slater.
Johnson fires a shot. Good save by D. What a pass from Johnson over to Forey. He skied it, and Forey almost had it there. He still skates with it, sends it towards the middle. Another shot. Good save by D. Utah really pressing here with 23 seconds to go here in the first. Johnson, he's got it. Fires a wrist shot just wide. 15 to go. Bisson sends it towards the middle. It's blocked. Fletcher, he skates it in. Nobody home at the point, so it'll fall out of the zone. And with 3 seconds to go, Utah still pressing here. And that'll officially do it for the first period of play. So we saw 6 goals in total last night. We saw 6 goals in total in the first period of this game. Utah cruising their way to the first intermission with a 6-0 lead.
Yeah, I mean, that was the period that the Utes wanted last night, but they got it today in the first period. And, right now shots on the board show 30-1. I have a sneaking suspicion after that last little foray in front of the net there to end the period, we might have a couple more shots added to that. And, different story tonight. We talked about it in the pregame. This is going to be a completely different game than last night. Looks like we do have Molly Bodendistel downstairs with Kruchek. If she's ready to go, let's go ahead and send it down to Molly. Not quite ready as of yet. So we'll continue to talk about the first period. One of the things I liked out of the Utes, again, and I say this almost every game, is the support that they show each other when they have the opportunity to make things happen. All right, now we're good for Molly. Let's go ahead and send it down to Molly.
Okay, tell me, Trevor. 2 great goals you got in that first period. Can you walk me through them? How did they feel?
It was good. I just put myself in a spot, and my teammates found me and put it in the back of the net.
And how is this game different from yesterday's game?
We came with a lot more compete, a lot more fire, and it's awesome. Loving it.
Alrighty, thank you very much. We'll see you after the second period.
Thanks, Molly. So we will head to the first intermission with Utah, like we mentioned, cruising their way to a 6-0 lead. That was Trevor Kruchek, who is having himself a great weekend. We'll talk more about it during the first intermission show. Until then, we'll take a quick break. Don't touch that remote. We've got more Utah hockey from Salt Lake City. But until then, it's Utah 6, San Diego State 0 at the first intermission.
What's one word to describe life after a car accident? Overwhelming. It's a never-ending list of to-dos. Unless you call the right lawyer, then poof.
After an accident, we'll help relieve the
What's one word to describe life after a car accident? Overwhelming. It's a never-ending list of to-dos. Unless you call the right lawyer, then poof.
After an accident, we'll help relieve the stress and chaos. Call or text Siegfried and Jensen.
After you've been injured in an accident, you're going to have a lot of questions.
Who pays my medical bills? Will I ever be able to work again? Who can answer all of these questions?
We can. Siegfried and Jensen.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to open trails and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on Earth.
By the tree of broken glass, where the home.
Welcome to Game Day Fun.
Anything could last. So let's go and take the words that we know.
Welcome to the party!
Of thoughtful dreams. But if you listen, you can still hear.
Welcome to Pac-12 Sports. Welcome to world-class research.
Welcome to the arts.
Welcome to real-world experiences.
We can go to that bridge that crosses over fear.
Welcome to a great education.
Welcome to new friends.
We can toss our worries far away from our hearts. And if you listen,
Welcome to the time of your life.
not hear them calling out our names, calling out our
Welcome to all you can imagine.
though we might fade and fall, we'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. Took it out, we got to walk and see. Those gray clouds look close, but we have come and gone.
Welcome to the University of Utah.
For nearly 70 years, we've guided our members toward financial confidence, and we've helped each other reach greater heights. From our beginnings at the University of Utah to serving over 130,000 members across the beautiful state of Utah, we've grown together. Now, our next journey begins as Canyon View Credit Union. A name inspired by where we live, explore, and find new possibilities. A name that shows our connection to community, the solid path we help create for members. and the clear view we provide for bright financial futures. We're building a brand shaped by trust, service, and a vision for something greater. Because when we rise, we lift each other. When we grow together. Thank you for being part of this journey. As we climb toward the future, the view just keeps getting better and better. Same roots, new path. Welcome to Canyon View Credit Union.
A car accident can change your life and the lives of those you love instantly. Beyond the physical damages, there are emotional and financial damages as well. And picking up the pieces alone can feel almost impossible. We understand. It's personal, and that's why we're here to help. Call or text 24/7. Siegfried and Jensen.
Years ago, I was checked from behind in a hockey game, and I was paralyzed from the chest down. It's difficult, and everything I do requires help. I formed a foundation because I believed paralysis recovery was possible. Now we're experiencing incredible trial results with spinal stimulation treatments, and we're so close to making it available to everyone living with paralysis. Let's make history. Let's beat paralysis.
What's one word to describe life after a car accident? Overwhelming. It's a never-ending list of to-dos. Unless you call the right lawyer, then poof.
After an accident, we'll help relieve the stress and chaos. Call or text Siegfried and Jensen.
And yeah.
After you've been injured in an accident, you're going to have a...
Welcome back to the Utah Hockey Broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Here for the first intermission report after 20 minutes of play from Salt Lake City. The Utes ahead on San Diego State by a tally of 6-0. Quite a good first period if you're a University of Utah fan.
You want to say that again?
Quite a good period if you're a University of Utah fan.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's kind of what we were expecting last night, actually, given the circumstances. A short bench, you're missing your captain. We still had lots of shots in the first period. Last night we talked about that a little bit during the first period tonight, how the shots are very similar, but we didn't have 37 shots in the first period last night. We had 16. Tonight we have 37-1. So the Utes came out absolutely flying tonight, and it looks like San Diego's having a little bit more difficult time tonight than they did last night, because I think half the team or 2/3 of the team, their legs are exhausted. They just can't keep up. We talked about last night, the elevation change. That's going to be a factor. Also, skating with 13 skaters, they went down to 10 at one point. That's going to be a factor, and I think they're feeling it right now. Hopefully, they can kind of garner some kind of energy coming out to the second period, because right now the game isn't as competitive as it should be with a full roster.
No, it really isn't. I mean, it's yeah, like you said, it's kind of weird. It's flip-flopped. You'd expect the exact opposite to happen when, short bench, but last night it was a way closer game than tonight's game. So it's a weird game a little bit, but for Utah, they're playing the way they want to play, and they came out playing the same way they played last night. You got some different names in the mix, as you mentioned. Cole Bisson, one of those names. Chase Forey, one of those names. You got Greilich in net, has himself a point. Let's actually talk about that.
Yeah.
What an excellent pass off the stick of Joey Greilich over to Jacob Slater there, and then tic-tac-toe from there. Gibney just taps the stick, and the net it goes.
Yeah, both of our tenders last night, Fuller had a really good stretch pass. Greilich saw that last night. He goes, I'm going to try that myself, and it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect on the tape. Both of them were, for that matter. And then what a great play by Slater to get it to Gibney. Even not facing a lot of, one shot, Greilich's very much in this game, much like Fuller was last night, paying attention to those kind of plays. That's an attention to detail aspect of the game that you don't see often. And for him to be able to take advantage of that speaks volumes, because that means your tender's into it, even though he's not being tested.
Absolutely. And another piece of that is just the raw skill to make that play happen as a goaltender. Yeah. Talking about, I guess none of us have really played a lot of goaltender in hockey, but AJ Bolden, our goaltending coach / GM of the program, he's a big, he was a goaltender, big goalie guy. He could tell you how hard it is to make a pass. You got to get good at handling the puck as a goaltender with the puck on your stick. Obviously, if you're right-handed, it's on a right-handed shot. It's the opposite, right? For hockey. So making that pass is just difficult to begin with.
Oh, yeah, it is difficult, because you're talking about a stick that isn't a normal hockey stick. It's got a 20-inch paddle. I don't know what length they are. I'm not a goaltender. I'm a defenseman. I played one game of goaltender against some peewees when I was younger, and they scored 40 goals on me in an hour. So, I'm not good at that position.
Oh, my goodness.
So, I have no idea the amount of skill. I just know it takes a lot of skill to be able to do that, and the awareness that he had in that play. But, let's talk about San Diego for a second. With San Diego, if they're able to regroup themselves, figure out a way to play the game where they're not chasing the puck, but they're playing more positionally sound defensively, I think that's going to be a better situation for them moving forward. So they're not skating as much. They are more cutting off angles more than anything else. I think that's going to benefit them into the second period, and also save their legs, because there's still 40 minutes of hockey to play.
There's plenty of hockey, a lot of game left. For San Diego State, there's things you can work on, still lots to do. So we'll send it down to the ice and get ready for the third period or second period of play here in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, I'm hoping that San Diego is able to make that kind of adjustment to kind of thwart the speed that the Utes are playing with right now, because they are just out skating San Diego, despite the maximum effort that San Diego's putting out. If I'm the coach, that's what I'm saying, guys. Let's play positionally. Let's not get into that chase game.
No, you really don't want to be playing that chase game. And oddly enough, I thought they were, a little bit more stout through the middle last night. Utah's kind of been able to move the puck around even easier tonight. And I thought last night they were actually pretty good through the middle. San Diego State, all things considered, right? 10 skaters and whatnot. But, tough first period on the road. And for them, it's been a tough season. We talked about it last night. They haven't actually beat an M1 team yet this season. They 2 wins against M2 teams and 1 win against an M3 team on the schedule. So we know we've been there as University of Utah. We have the program. It didn't just go to nationals a couple of years in a row out of nowhere. It takes a lot of time to build the skill and build a good team. And we've been there, and it's been a tough year for San Diego State. But when you're in a game like this, you're not necessarily out of it. But even if you are, let's start from the foundations and the basics, and let's play our game. Let's start at 1. let's get a goal, and go
one,
from there.
One of the things that you hear a lot is let's get one at a time. Like you said, get one. Let's focus on getting one. Then let's work on getting the next one. I mean, we've talked about the Mammoth often on our show.
Here they come, Utah. Oh my goodness. Jake Larilla diving there right after the play as he was trying to tuck that one backhand. Wrapping around are the Utes, and 30 seconds into the second period, Utah already back where they left off.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the speed of the Utes is remarkable right now. They are absolutely dialed in. But what I was going to talk about is we talk about the Mammoth, the Utah Mammoth, quite a bit on this program, and we saw it a couple weeks ago. They led the entire game. They let a team score a goal, and then they scored another one, and then they scored another one. They were able to tie it up. They go into overtime, and they ended up winning the game. So it's very possible, even where we are right now, sitting 6-0, for a team to just battle their way back into contention in the game, and then potential's always there. That's hockey.
It is. I mean, and in college hockey too, especially. I mean, you think you've seen it all, but you'll see games. I mean, on this ice sheet, the craziest game I've ever seen. Utah takes 2-0 lead in Arizona State. Arizona State gets 6 unanswered. They're leading 6-2. Utah enters the third period down 4. They win the game in regulation. Crazy game.
Yeah.
But something like that could happen in a game like this. And, it obviously things need to change pretty dramatically for that to be the case, but
yeah.
It doesn't matter. You play until the final horn. You play 60 minutes, and that's a dream of any coach, right? That you want to get your team to play a full 60 minutes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Fletcher looking for the one-timer. The stick of Forey there. So now it'll be the Aztecs with it.
Yeah, and I think one of the other keys to the Aztecs making a dent in this game is to control the puck, not be one of those quick strike teams like we've talked about and seen in the past against the Utes. But if they can get the puck on their stick and relax a little bit.
Here's Crowley making some nice moves. He scores! Joseph Crowley makes it 7-0 for Utah. Putting on a nice display of stick handling there.
I saw that coming. That's why I was quiet for a second. I could see the moves he was making, and I knew he was going to try to put a shot on it. I wanted you to have the call. Yeah, great move to the center. Drives up the lane a little bit. Yeah, little head fake, stick handle, and puts it past D. Wait, did we have a goaltending change?
Looks like we do. That's number 1. Brody Sow coming in relief for Liam D. The Aztecs skated in.
Yeah, not the same start for D in the game to start the second period as he had last night.
Nonetheless, though, we know what Sow can do after last night's game. Because now here comes Paul Waldhauser. He skates it in, wrapping around.
Net's off.
And he fires a shot, net off its moorings, as you said, Mitchell. And looks like
he didn't change. I saw 1 on the thing, so it is still Liam D. My mistake. I'm sorry about that. I was looking at his right shoulder, and all I could see is a 1, and Brody Sow is number 1.
I trusted you,
and I let you down. I'm sorry, buddy. Kick me off the air.
We can't do that.
I'm sure there's somebody out there that wants me off the air.
It's not me. Happy Valentine's Day, bud.
I appreciate that. Yeah, my wife said you were my date tonight, so I appreciate that.
Bisson over to Correa.
That'd be a bad first date.
So now the Utes have it. Schwab fires a shot. Pad save by D. Was going to plug the University of Utah women's team as there's a shot from San Diego State. Good save by Greilich. They've got the primetime slot tonight at 7:30. Your University of Utah women's skating Utes will take on the University of Washington for their senior night, their final home game of the season. Next weekend, they will be going to Colorado to compete in the Western Women's Collegiate Hockey League playoffs, seeking a national tournament berth. So best of luck to the women's team this evening and also next weekend.
Yeah, unfortunately, last year they were 1 goal short of reaching the national tournament.
And the women's program is seeking their first appearance in that tournament. So that'd be a huge milestone for them in that program. They've come a long way as well. Head coach Rodney Stett pouring his, his heart into that program and doing a lot of good things, and that team has seen a lot of success with him at the helm. Kruchek tried to scoop that one up. It ends up on the stick of Bisson. Back over to Schwab. Schwab to Kruchek. Kruchek far side half boards. That'll be Jake Larilla, the captain of this University of Utah squad. Delaney skating down. Schwab. Errant pass is picked off by San Diego State. Grant the other way, dumps it in. Greilich out to play it. Nice movement there between Delaney Greilich and Jake Larilla.
So with San Diego having possession right now, get in the zone, set up an offense. They've been taking shots from outside just to try to get shots this period. Kind of to what I was speaking of earlier.
There's a shot. Good chance there for San Diego State. Good save by Greilich.
But what I was talking about earlier, setting up and sustaining some offense, and then defensively just being more defensively sound and kind of that looked offsides. Yeah, and it was.
They were looking for that stretch pass. It was Patrick Fast, no pun intended, trying to get on the fast break there.
But yeah, I want to see them, instead of driving wide and taking a shot from outside the circle, I want to see him drive in, pull up, allow your other skaters to catch up with you, set up some offense, start moving the puck around. Because every time that puck is on your stick and you make a good pass, it's gonna garner confidence. And right now, they haven't been able to establish any kind of offensive threat against the Utes. And if you let the Utes skate without a fear of a threat defensively, oh, look out, partner.
Right. They can move the puck very well. And I think, credit to Utah as well. I mean, they are stifling those chances at the start, but nonetheless, just skating it into the zone and firing a shot's not going to do much for you. I mean, it can help draw some opportunities. As Utah was setting up a one-timer there, Gibney was right there on the doorstep. But either way, yeah, I agree with you, Mitchell. Just try and set something up if you can, attempt to at least. And now here comes Slater. What a nice move, and we'll get a whistle. Looks like the net came off its moorings again. Or maybe not. I thought it did.
Yeah, it looks like that far post is off its moorings.
It looks, yeah, just barely. With the stoppage in play, we're back on the air for the final two home games of the University of Utah M1 regular season next weekend. 9:30 p.m. puck drop next Friday night against Nevada, Las Vegas. What a weekend to close things off. You're going to get the best team in the WCHL. Actually, the UNLV Rebels have actually clinched the WCHL. They've won that championship in back-to-back years. So congratulations to the Rebels for that. But should prove to be an excellent weekend of hockey. It certainly is one of my favorite weekends of the year when they're in town.
Oh, yeah. It's a rivalry that is heated, physical. I mean, it's a type of hockey you and I both really enjoy. And they can move the puck. They can skate fast. They can hit you if they need to, just like the Utes can. So it's an excellent matchup because the games oftentimes are pretty close.
They really are. Utah, throughout the years, they've gotten a couple of wins here in Salt Lake City. Still looking for their first down there in Las Vegas, but I mean, they're only tight. They always are tight games, and them being the defending champs. Gives it even more juice this season. It'll be Sendin looking for Sykes. He gets a piece of it, gets it into the zone. Utah will make a quick change. Mayer dumps it in for San Diego State. Greilich has a puck on a stick. A little misplay there. They fire a shot. They score. Patrick Morris gets the Aztecs on the board. And it'll be 7-1. Little miscue there by Joey Greilich.
Yeah, he's going to want that whole play back. And when here's a replay here,
you don't quite see the first little miscue, but he was stick handling the puck, and then Morris pickpockets it and wraps it around.
And I'm gonna mention something right here. On that replay, you saw the net come off its moorings. One of the rules is if the puck were going to go in regardless, if the net came off its moorings or not, they would still call it a goal. It's not an automatic wave off. So any of you Utah fans at home watching, and you're saying to yourself, hey, that puck was, or that net was off, that's why it wasn't blown dead.
It's a good call. Very good call. Now the Utes with it in their own end. There's Bisson. He got buried there, but Forey is able to skate it forward. He fires a shot, and that puck deflected up and out of play.
I have a feeling the Utes are going to want to get that one back pretty quick.
I agree. I'm sure they will put their best effort forth to do just that. I mean, they have not slowed down really at all since puck drop.
No, they've been pressuring the entire 25 minutes so far. But a goal like that can give a team like San Diego some life, you know? I mean, one of those little things. They got the one. Let's see what they can do with a little bit of momentum if they can sustain. And it is often a shift after a goal that's going to make a difference in the next few minutes of the game and establish that momentum, as it were. If they can get a puck steal, a deflection, something to get the puck going their direction, as that'll go for a nice. Oh, they waved it off. Okay. But yeah, let's see what the next couple shifts look like. If they can do something with it, or if the Utes will get right back on the attack and little knee connection there, knee on knee.
That never feels good. Greilich back out to play the puck again. Johnson around the wall and over to Cray. Nice pass there as Cray gets it into the zone. San Diego State able to get it right back out. And that is a pretty obvious too many men penalty against Utah. Bad timing with the puck being right there. And Utah will go to the kill for the first time in this game. And it looks like they're going to send Paul Waldhauser to serve this one.
Time of that penalty, 6:47 of the second period.
Replay there. Looks like that was the knee-on-knee collision. That'll be Delaney. Utah on the kill. San Diego State, their first power play of the game. Another opportunity.
And last night, they went 0 for 1 on the power play.
Larilla behind the net, spinning around. Backhands it towards the point. It's kept in, but nobody home on the other side of the zone, so Utah will skate with it. Kruchek across the line, dropping it off for Schwab. Nice move. Schwab shoots just wide. What a setup there from Schwab. And Kruchek, that comes off again. Man, that's been popping off quite a bit.
Yeah, they should put some water down there or something, make it stick. So once again, talking about momentum, obviously the Aztecs are going to start in their own defensive zone. They need to win this draw, get the puck down the ice, and establish their power play, and maybe make something happen off of it. And they did win the draw, so let's see what they can do with it.
Aztecs skate it forward into the zone. They play it across to the far side. Point pass. That was Hennigan at the point. He's got it once more. He fires a shot. Blocker saved by Greilich. And here's some of that established attack you were talking about, Mitchell, but obviously on the power play. But nonetheless, they are controlling here in the offensive zone. Puck sent all the way down low there. Elleraz over to Hennigan. And Barber was there. Point to point it goes. Faraz makes a move. Fires a wrist shot through traffic. Good save by Greilich off the rebound. Another good save by Greilich. And that was Barber on that second chance opportunity. And now it's Kruchek across the red line and into the zone. Makes a move and then loses an edge. But able to get the puck in deep for Utah. In come the Aztecs. They send a pass towards the slot, and it's taken away by Sendin. Sendin over to Schwab. There's a shot. Good save. Schneider. Now it's Sandberg. He fires a shot. Good save.
Just 1 second remaining on the penalty kill for the Utes. And I just want to go back to that that save that Greilich had with that cross ice. He read that. He moved. I was watching him the whole time. He moved over before the puck even moved over. Not that he pre-read it, but you know, if you play hockey enough, you know where the puck's going to go, right? And he read it so well. There was no chance that puck was going to go in short side.
What is it? A good hockey player plays where the puck is. A smart hockey player plays where the puck's going to be. Something like that.
Some along those lines. Would that be
some kind of quote somebody said?
Yeah, probably came from Mr. Gretzky Sr.
He was pretty good.
He did okay. He had a son that was halfway decent at the game.
Here comes Waldhauser. Skates in. That's knocked loose. Slides all the way back down to the Utah side. Not quite as many goals this second period, but some more back and forth action. Sendin over to Correa.
We got a delayed penalty coming to San Diego. Slashing will be the call.
So Utah back to the power play.
And that will go against number 67, Zachary Storaz. So right now, going into this power play, the Utes are 1-1 on the power play. This is their third power play opportunity of the night. Time of that penalty, 10:03. Slashing was the call. So we'll see what happens over the next 2 minutes or less.
Slater down to the goal line, looking for Gibney. Shot, and that goes up and out of play. Only 9 seconds expired. And Utes control after the faceoff. Gibney. Larilla. Back up to his brother Jake Larilla. Zach Larilla in the middle. And that puck deflected out of the zone. Utes charging in. Larilla skating it in. Zach over to Jake, back to Zach. Once again, back over to Jake Larilla. Gibney at the point. Slater, far side. Zach Larilla's got it. Back over to Slater. Larilla to Jake Larilla. Gibney, point past Larilla, fires a wrist shot. It's blocked. Gibney to recover. Zach over to Jake and a one-timer. just wide.
Yeah, great save on that. Good read on that play by D.
One-timer, and it looks like Gibbity's stick broke on that one.
Darn carbon fiber, I tell you what. Back in my day when we played with wood sticks, I'm just kidding. I mean, how many times on broadcast have we heard that?
Yeah.
Because, like, a lot of those players, especially, you know, in the past few years, some of those announcers have retired, but they did play with wood sticks. They're in their 50s, well, okay, maybe 60s. I'm in my 50s, so I don't want to say that. I can tell you when I first started playing hockey, I played with a wood stick and then aluminum. But, yeah, no, it's just funny because you hear that all the time. Yeah, you know.
I did start with I don't know if I want to say, we call it composite, carbon fiber.
Yeah,
I don't know
carbon fiber,
yeah.
composites, same thing. My son's first stick was composite.
Yeah.
But it was the blade was straight because I didn't want to force him right or left. I wanted to let him choose, so I had a perfectly straight blade. So he played like he was in the 60s, and he just naturally went to the lefty.
Something I should have known but didn't know until very recently. Do you know where the curved stick blade came from?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Stan Mikita got his stick stuck in a door and was like, let me try it. He tried it in a practice, and the puck just whizzed down the ice with a lot more momentum, as noticed by the Mr. Hull Sr.
Yes. Stan Mikita of the Chicago Blackhawks.
Bobby Hull.
That's
of
right.
The Chicago Blackhawks.
There's a shot, hits the post, just goes wide. A lot of things I didn't know. The Oregon, not Oregon, not the state. The pipe organ at hockey games originated in Chicago as well, at the old Chicago Stadium.
Yeah.
A lot of cool things you find out during the 100th anniversary of a NHL team, I guess.
Yeah, and that's back at the Chicago Stadium. They used to have to walk up the stairs to get to the ice level.
I say but I never actually got to go, unfortunately, but do remember watching highlights of that.
And that information coming from a Detroit Red Wing guy.
There's a shot.
Good save there, yeah.
I guess you get the last laugh as Patrick Kane is now on the Red Wings. There's a shot, good save by Greilich. And that makes my skin crawl.
I'm sure it does, as he was your favorite player and has been since he joined the league. You were just a little guy when he came in.
That's right. That's right.
But, yeah, I mean, Patty Kane, the leading, all-time leading goal scorer from a U.S.-born player, got that a couple weeks ago, overtook Mike Modano with his 1,375th goal.
Yes.
That's a lot of goals.
That is a lot of goals, and he's the kind of player that's an assist-first kind of guy, too. So, you know, playmaker. He one of the best to ever do it. And, you know, it's a treat to watch him while you still can. It's because he won't be playing for much longer. Hopefully he plays as long as he can, but, you know, he is 35 years old.
Yeah, and since he's been with the Wings, I've had the opportunity to watch him play twice now, so.
It's awesome. One-time play for the Utes. Forey was looking for Fletcher there. Forey cycling back. Still with possession. To the middle. One-time shot. They score! What a wrist shot there from Eli Fletcher. And as you predicted, Mitchell, Utah gets that goal back. They put the lead back to 7.
Yeah, and great play there by Forey to hold on to that puck, find Fletcher there in that low slot or middle of the slot there, high slot I guess you could call it. And Fletcher didn't hesitate, and neither one of those players, as you can see it on the replay, neither one of those players played in the game last night, and both of them getting points tonight. It's good for them, making their opportunities count, right? That's
absolutely
all you can do.
Anytime you get that opportunity, it's like you said, make it count and show what you can do. Good problem to have is have too many good players on your team. So you'd skate it all the way back down. And if you're Utah, you know, again, as we talked about, you're not, you know, with the goal differential, and I think, Mitchell, you mentioned it may max out at 7 or whatever it is for the rankings, but you're going to play hard. You know, you want to find a way to get to that national tournament and clinch a berth, and so this is not necessarily practice for that, but it's a game situation. The pace is quick, the tempo's up, and just prepare yourself the best you can. There's a one-timer, very good setup there from the Aztecs. Mason Brown almost had an opportunity to bury that one, but just make those reps count and peak at the right time. That's the goal for every hockey team.
And here's something interesting real quick. Well, let me see what San Diego didn't do anything with it right there. But so that goal scored at 13:25 by Fletcher, assisted by Crowley. Assisted by number 14, Forey. Second assist to Crowley. So 3 players that were not in the lineup.
Here they come back the other way, San Diego State, and there'll be a penalty against Utah, potentially a penalty shot.
Yeah, it is a penalty shot.
Wow. I'm happy he called that. You don't see it called all the time. I mean, I know there's clear cut, you know, on the breakaway, you bring a guy down, it's a penalty shot, but it doesn't happen all that often. In fact, I don't think there is a penalty. Yes, there is. Okay. I didn't think the referee was going to put that puck down there for a moment.
Yeah, I saw him point right to center ice.
It's because I saw Sandberg go to the box, so I thought potentially there might not be a penalty shot on the play, but here we go. Cameron Faraz for San Diego State against Joey Greilich. Here he comes. Stick handles. But forehand backhand, he scores! What a nice move by Cameron Faraz, and San Diego State gets that goal right back, 8-2.
Nice little move there. He was in no hurry to get to the goal, but he definitely made it count.
Here's the replay. Very smooth forehand backhand. That transition making it look easy.
So in this second period, even though they haven't been able to sustain offensive pressure, 2 goals in the period on 10 shots.
Yeah, that's a positive for San Diego State. I mean, you find a way, and at the end of the day, you know, like you said, make those opportunities count, and you know, you draw a penalty shot, you get a chance to bury it, and they make no mistake.
Yeah, and they just need to build on it. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't take any more penalties. They've got to continue battling like they're doing, and every time they get the puck on their stick, they need to, like, and I know I'm going to be repetitive here, but they need to control the puck, because if you control the puck, you control the pace. You control the pace, you control the game. Right now, they're not doing any of that, and they need to capitalize on that opportunity and make something happen.
4.5 to go here in the second period. That's a good point, Mitchell, and they really haven't been able to do that. I mean, even last night there wasn't a lot of that, but still, you know, it's a matter of just turning the tide, one play at a time, as there's a shot. Good save by D. I'll go for icing. So we'll go right back down to the San Diego State zone.
Interesting second period. A lot different than the first, that's
yeah,
for sure.
The scoring has slowed down a little bit. Able to settle in as Delaney rips a shot. Good save by D. We'll have another face-off.
That's 2 quick shots off of draws. The last 2 draws that Utah has had, they've won them and gotten shots off quick. That one by Delaney. Previous one, I believe, was off of Kruchek, if I'm not mistaken.
Off the draw, the Aztecs have it. It's bouncing around, kept in at the line by Delaney. Schneider will chase after it for the Utes. Circles back. Over to Schwab. Point pass back to Schneider. Schneider to Delaney. Looking for a one-timer for Kruchek. He opts to stick handle. Take his time with it. Smart play. Over to the Lurilla at the point. He kicks it back down low. Schwab. Cross-ice pass looking for Kruchek. Hits his skate. Kruchek will cycle back. He still has it. Reverses play to Delaney with some open space. Delaney fires a shot. Sticked away by D. Now it'll be Faraz the other way. He just scored that penalty shot goal, and that puck goes way up and out of play.
I think that went off the helmet of Greilich there.
It goes up and over the netting. See, even the netting doesn't protect the puck from coming out of play. Goes up and over it. I'm just saying,
yeah,
you know, maybe we can get rid of the stuff in the middle so it's easier to see for us up here.
I would love that. I mean, the only saving grace is it's a black net, so it doesn't distract your eyes quite as much when you're moving, watching the play. But yeah, I would. Gone are the days of netless hockey.
Bisson over to Schwab. Schwab looking for Woldhauser. Fires a backhand shot that hit the post. Crazy angle to shoot that puck from. Now it'll be the Aztecs. They've got it. They fire a shot. Patted away by Greilich. Bisson. He passed it back to, looks like Johnson over there. Johnson to Bisson. Over to Waldhauser. They fire a shot, and it goes up and out of play. Not a lot of tempo in the second period, to be honest with you. It's just kind of slowed down a little bit.
No, it's definitely slowed down, and I think that is kind of attributed to the play of San Diego, if I'm being honest. I mean, they've limited the chances of Utah. Utah still skating hard. They're controlling the puck. The Utes have a very wide margin of puck control time comparatively to San Diego, but San Diego's done a good job to limit the scoring chances, and they've been able to get two of their own. The Utes, two as well in this period. So, you know, it's a better period for San Diego. I'm not upset with what I'm seeing out of the Utes. I think it's just a more evenly paced hockey game right now with the way that San Diego has adjusted going into the second, playing in the second period, which is exactly what we spoke about in the intermission report of what they needed to do to stem the tide, so to speak, of the Utes' onslaught.
Absolutely.
Trying to use as many multiple syllabic words that I can in that one little.
Artfully done.
Gracias. Danke.
Less than 2 minutes to go. Getting ready for the USA-Germany game tomorrow. I can sense.
Ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch, meine Freund.
I don't know what you said, but San Diego State's got the puck.
I just said I speak a little German. That's
okay.
all. Nothing fancy.
I obviously don't. Oh, the San Diego State player runs to the net there, so we'll get a whistle.
Yeah, he's looking up to Brett Fuller, looking for a penalty, but he kind of put himself in the net. He wasn't pushed or anything like that. He was just trying to cut. It happens. But you know what? I'd be trying to get a penalty too if I was in that situation. Trying to get any advantage you can at this point. Shots right now with 1:19 remaining in the second period, 53-13. That's a lot of shots to not a lot.
Yep.
But the score only 6 goals, 6-goal differential. And this puck will come outside of the zone since the net was knocked off by a San Diego State player. and unencumbered.
Whoa.
I gotta try to make it fun, whether it's bad jokes or not. You know, I mean, you may hate my
Absolutely.
jokes, but
No.
I try to make people laugh. Not always successful, but like to entertain. You know,
That's what we're here for.
yeah,
Right?
Yeah, I mean, how boring would this game be if we just were monotone and didn't have fun with it?
That's right. Minute to go in this second period. Utes up 8-2. Scoring 7 in the first for the University of Utah Utes. Got 1 this period. Nice centering pass. Good shot from the stick of Sykes. And we'll have a whistle. 6 in the first period. 2 in the second period. My goodness.
You didn't know I could speak ASL either, did you?
Yeah, I guess I didn't. And I also can't do math, I guess, either. But yeah, 6 in the first for Utah, 2 in the second. You are most definitely bilingual, Mitchell.
See.
Yes. As the Aztecs control, they skated in. It'll be Gibbity now.
So we compose ourselves going into the intermission.
Yeah, we need a break as well, I guess.
Yeah, I'm getting so tired of being serious.
As this clock will wind all the way down. And we will finish the second period of play with Utah on top by 6, just as they were at the end of the first. This time it's 8-2. San Diego State getting 2 up on the board. And we've got 20 minutes of play left in home game number 8 for the Skating Utes. Another good, solid period of play for Utah, Mitchell.
Yeah, it was a solid period. It was a solid period by both squads, to be honest with you. You know, only 2 goals allowed by San Diego, as opposed to 6 in the first. That's a vast improvement. So if they can do the same in the third, limit them, and then get a couple of their own. You know, if the Utes don't get a goal in the third, and San Diego State is able to get a couple, that's a much closer game than it is right now.
Very true. Very true.
I'm a master of the obvious.
That's. I mean, no, all things said, like you said, it's a good period for San Diego State. They're able to kind of rebound a little bit, you know, after reeling after that first period. And, you know, coming into the third, it's all about, you know, like I said, 1 goal at a time.
Yeah.
One play at a time.
Yep. Like I tell my players when I was coaching, and my son can attest to this, play, shift, period, game. You build one upon the other, and you come out with a successful hockey game. You know, I mean, it's just a matter of, like, each
shift
play.
by shift. Yeah, I really like that. I mean, you got to shrink it down to the most simple thing it is, and
keep it simple, stupid.
That's right.
Kiss method.
All right, we will send it down to Molly, who's ringside with Eli Fletcher.
Hi, Utes fans. It's Molly. I'm here with Eli Fletcher. So tell me, Eli, what has been working well for your team tonight?
Just sticking to our game, getting pucks deep, and having a 5-foot rule on the blue line and red line. Just using our speed and our size to our advantage.
And how do you keep up the momentum with a lead like this?
Just keep getting shots on net, quality opportunities, and bury all the pucks we can get.
All right, thank you very much. We'll see you after the game.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Molly. We will head to the second intermission. Me and Mitchell will get a quick break, and we'll come back for the third period. The players as well will get a quick break. You're not going to want to miss the final 20 minutes of play here from Salt Lake City. At the second intermission, it's Utah 8, San Diego State 2. We'll see you in just a few moments.
What's one word to describe life after a car accident? Overwhelming. It's a never-ending list of to-dos. Unless you call the right lawyer, then poof.
After an accident, we'll help relieve the stress and chaos. Call or text Siegfried and Jensen.
After you've been injured in an accident, you're going to have a lot of questions.
Who pays my medical bills? Will I ever be able to work again? Who can answer all of these questions?
We can. Siegfried and Jensen.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to open trails and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on earth.
By the tree of broken glass, where the home
Welcome to Game Day Fun.
anything could last. So let's go and take the words that we know.
Welcome to the party!
Of thoughtful dreams. But if you listen, you can still hear
Welcome to Pac-12 Sports.
our names, calling out our names.
Welcome to world-class research.
We'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab your
Welcome to the arts.
top, no trap. We are tough as nails. Come on, this is our land.
Welcome to real-world experiences.
We can go to that bridge that crosses over fear.
Welcome to a great education.
Love and what it does to those they hold near. So let's run till the water.
Welcome to new friends.
We can toss our worries far away from our hearts. And if you live
Welcome to the time of your life.
not hear them calling out our names, calling out
Welcome to all you can imagine.
though we might faint and fall, we'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab your walking stick. Those gray clouds look close, but we have come and gone.
Welcome to the University of Utah.
So get up and grab your walking stick.
For nearly 70 years, we've guided our members toward financial confidence, and we've helped each other reach greater heights. From our beginnings at the University of Utah to serving over 130,000 members across the beautiful state of Utah, we've grown together. Now, our next journey begins as Canyon View Credit Union. A name inspired by where we live, explore, and find new possibilities. A name that shows our connection to community, the solid path we help create for members, and the clear view we provide for bright financial futures. We're building a brand shaped by trust, service, and a vision for something greater. Because when we rise, we lift each other. When we grow together. Thank you for being part of this journey. As we climb toward the future, the view just keeps getting better and better. Same roots, new path. Welcome to Canyon View Credit Union.
car accident can change your life and the lives of those you love instantly. Beyond the physical damages, there are emotional and financial damages as well. And picking up the pieces alone can feel almost impossible. We understand. It's personal, and that's why we're here to help. Call or text 24/7. Siegfried and Jensen.
"13 years ago, I was checked from behind in a hockey game, and I was paralyzed from the chest down. It's difficult, and everything I do requires help. I formed a foundation because I believed paralysis recovery was possible. Now we're experiencing incredible trial results with spinal stimulation treatments, and we're so close to making it available to everyone living with paralysis. Let's make history. Let's beat paralysis."
What's one word to describe life after a car accident? Overwhelming. It's a never-ending list of to-dos. Unless you call the right lawyer, then poof.
After an accident, we'll help relieve the stress and chaos. Call or text Siegfried and Jensen.
After you've been injured in an accident, you're going to have a lot of questions.
Who pays my medical bills? Will I ever be able to work again? Who can answer all of these questions?
We can. Siegfried and Jensen.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to open trails and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on earth.
By the tree of broken glass.
Welcome back to the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second intermission report. After 40 minutes of play, Utah is on top of San Diego State by a score of 8-2. Mitchell, what do you want to talk about from that second period?
Well, I want to talk about how it kind of settled. You know, we mentioned that towards the end of the second period, how only 4 goals in that period, 2 for San Diego, 2 for the Utes. The Utes still dominating in puck possession time and shots. Total right now, 55-13 shot count in favor of the University of Utah. But I like how the defense of San Diego was able to kind of thwart some of those shots, blocked a lot of shots. A couple of guys came up a little lame momentarily whenever they took those shots, whether it was off the arm or off the skate. But they were able to get in the way of shots and kind of limit some of the scoring opportunities for the Utes. And for the Utes, just the consistency of what we're seeing both last night and tonight. The puck possession, the quick plays, the control that they're playing with, yet with a ton of speed. Combining those two is not an easy task, and they're making it look very easy, despite what San Diego's able to do defensively.
Absolutely. And Utah, building off of a strong performance last night, building off a strong performance in the third period. Like you said, a little slow over second period, but everything, cool and calm if you're Utah. But still, you got to finish strong here in this third period.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it a lot. Now that, we're getting towards the end of this game, we can talk about it at the postgame show as well. Next weekend, you've got UNLV. So it's preparation, for that. You want to finish strong in this game and have some momentum, so when you're playing that team, you got the juice flowing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you want every game to be a 60-minute hockey game. And you'll hear a lot of announcers talk about that. how, we didn't, or players rather, as well as announcers talk about, they didn't play a 60-minute hockey game. And that means there was some letdown. Maybe that second period was their letdown and made things appear a little differently than they were maybe perhaps on the ice. But from my vantage point, if they can sustain and play another good, solid 20 minutes, that'll be 180 or 120 minutes of really solid hockey, including last night. And as a coach, Morgan Feeney, that's all you can ask from your boys is give me a good, solid weekend to play. And, 3 players that weren't in the lineup last night are all on the score sheet with a point, whether it's a goal or an assist. And, when you have guys that come in that haven't played maybe the last game or a game or two, come on.
Great to see that. And especially a team that wants to go play in nationals and make a run. Depth. I mean, that's a good buzzword in hockey, right? Having the depth. You talk about it in the Olympics. Talk about it any playoff situation. You want to have the depth to be able to compete. And when you have guys that take the night off or have been out for a little bit, like you just said, and are all over the score sheet, very good sign going into the postseason. And it's almost kind of fitting. You had a tough game last night against San Diego State. You found a way to prevail. You kind of in a more of a blowout situation tonight. But then you got UNLV next weekend. It sets you up for the level of compete that you're going to need in St. Louis.
Yeah, and we talked about nationals. I know we talk about nationals a lot, but we talked about it in the sense of if you get there, you should be happy. The Utes have been there the last 2 seasons. It looks like they're going to get there this year. The last 2 seasons, they were one and done.
Right.
They do not want that to continue. If there's anything I can impart on you guys at home about the Utes mentality is this is the deepest team that the Utes have ever had. So if they were to come back 3 years in a row, one and done, that would be a failure to a lot of them, if not all of them.
I mean, they're like you said, talk to the level of the compete of these guys. They're not satisfied unless they win it all. I mean, let's be honest, but it's something to be said about that as well. They want to go and win a game. That's it's not easy to do, but it's something that's well within their ability. They're going to fight for that. And I mean, obviously, there's still a couple of weeks in the season left, so you got to take care of business now. But still, not trying to count your chickens before you hatch or anything. But basically, play strong, continue on, and win multiple games. And it's been they've had some. I mean, last year I believe it was Drury that sent them home. And Utah actually was the favorite there. They were the higher seed. The year before, I believe, it was actually it may have been Missouri State that had sent them home. And that's an intra-conference team, WCHL team there. So anything could happen. You could see UNLV in the first round. I mean, after the first time going, being one of the last teams in. You kind of, you put yourself in a tough situation in the bracket where you're going to have a really tough game. And then their goal was, okay, next season let's have a high seed. They did. They were ranked top 10 last year. I believe they went in ranked 9th last year.
No, we went in 8th last year.
8th last year, okay.
Because remember, as the season was winding down, we were striving for that 8th spot. And we were stuck at 9 for 3 weeks. And then we finally, in that last weekend when we swept, that catapulted us into the 8th spot.
It's looking like now it's going to be tough to get that again, and you see what happens after this weekend with the results of these 2 games. But, you got UNLV next weekend, and you can lose up, not saying, God forbid, right, you get swept next weekend, or if you do sweep next weekend, that'll really help your ranking. But even if you get swept, it should help your ranking, so.
Yeah, and you got to look at the strength of schedule in the opponent next week as opposed to this week, right?
Right.
San Diego comes into the weekend 11th in the WCHL, as opposed to UNLV being 1. You look at these games, the Utes should win. They should win handily. As opposed to next week, you're going up against the number 1. So the strength of schedule also has to be determined, or not. Not that it has to be determined, but the strength of schedule has to be factored in to the ultimate rankings. And I think, honestly, if we were to come out of this like it looks like with a sweep this weekend, and if by chance we were able to get a sweep or a split next weekend, I think the highest we might be able to jump would be 11. But you know what? Going in as 12 isn't the worst, right? You're not going in as the bottom seed. You're kind of middle of the pack, so to speak.
Right. Right, and you know, you could play yourself into some winnable games there. So you get a whistle early on here in the third period.
Yeah, and the third period has started. We just continued our conversation. No real scoring chances. Looks like there's a penalty coming.
Utah back to the power play.
Time of that penalty, 44 seconds of the third period. Number 4, high sticking is the call. And number 4 is, I'll tell you in a second.
That was shots fired at me, folks. I don't have my laptop open. Gary and Barber, the offender on that penalty. Yeah, probably should have opened my laptop to look at the rosters. Is now to be Larill at the point. He fires a wrist shot just wide.
Yeah, I would like to say that we have all the players memorized, but that would be a lie, and I don't like to lie.
Slater, that puck ricocheted off his stick. And now skating it back the other way was Colby Hennessy for San Diego State. Slater, looks like he kind of fanned on that pass, hit the bottom part of his stick, as there's a good shot.
Yeah, tough shift for Slater there. It had that puck bounce off of his stick in the offensive zone while on the power play. And then a scoring opportunity because he kind of whiffed on his pass. You know, that's one of those you go back to the bench and all you want to do is take a breather and get back out there and make up for it. But one of the things I did like about when he did miss that pass in the zone, he hustled back and got the puck back. Like that's amazing.
And the Utes will skate it right back in. And Delaney over to Waldhauser. Waldhauser to Delaney. Waldhauser, there's a shot from Correa, and it deflects up and out of play.
So kind of a slow start to this third period. Had 3 or 4 whistles, and we're only a minute 48 into it. One of those whistles, of course, being a high sticking call against
Barber.
Geary and yeah, I'm old. And your computer's across the table. As I'm looking in, oh, okay, yeah, because I got trifocals on now, which just means I get to try to see something. Doesn't always work.
Correa over to Delaney. One-timer, pad save by D. Rebound, they score! Brady Schwab buries the rebound on the power play, and that'll make it 9-2 Utah.
Time of that goal, 2:09. And that was Schwab, who we talked about earlier in the game about being a catalyst and one of those players that's he's a silent. I think he's one of the silent leaders in that dressing room.
Here's that rebound. Utah crashing the net once again. You can see Brady Schwab there, right there in front of the crease, just scoops up the rebound and bats it in. Yeah, I mean, last night we had a heck of a crowd here, and I'm sure they would have really liked to see this. I mean, they ended up winning 5-1 last night, but, I mean, 9-2, different story tonight.
Yeah, definitely a different story tonight. I mean, we saw that from the outset. I mean, we had our first goal at the 1:20 mark of the first period, and it's just been all Utah all game.
San Diego State getting one of their goals by way of the penalty shot.
Yeah, you know, I was really hoping that San Diego could have sustained some momentum after getting that first goal. Not the penalty shot goal necessarily, but the first goal that they scored was a good opportunity for them to kind of, you know, regroup a little bit. But
Sendin scores! What a cannon of a wrist shot from Karsten Sendin. And now it is 10-2 Utah. He didn't mean to do that, interrupt you.
How rude. You know, I'm going to have a word with Karsten Sendin because I was mid-sentence when he shot that. I tell you what, kids today. Yeah, as you see the rebound, nice shot. I mean, he's a big, strong kid, and He can definitely put some mustard on that shot and utilized it.
San Diego State trying to kind of set up there and just an errant pass. I think a thing you can work on is part of something you'd mentioned earlier on in the game, Mitchell, is just get set up and establish yourself in the opponent's zone. As here comes Utah, Forey, a turnover, look to be Crowley there, and his shot's just wide. But for San Diego State, I think it's a matter of even getting bodies in the right position, as there's an icing called against San Diego State. Even when they're able to get into the zone, I think bodies aren't in the right position. They're sending pucks to where guys should be. They're not there, right? You need to fully establish yourself, but it's a game of positioning as well and knowing where to be and how to cycle with the play.
Yeah, and not only that, you got to shorten the ice a little bit too. Make short passes instead of long bomb passes, because the guys have a lot of skill out there. You can see that there's a lot of skill on both of these squads. As San Diego presses in. Sorry.
Oh, there's a...
Oh, yeah, penalty. Yeah, absolutely. So an interference is called. Here's why the interference was called. Number 10, Faraz, took a check from the defenseman. Looks like that is Bisson. His glove got tangled up, and then Faraz threw his glove across the ice so that Bisson couldn't get his glove back. That's an interference call. Just as if he were to, slide the stick away from a player, you just can't do that. That's a frustration penalty right there.
Yeah, I saw that glove go flying and wasn't quite sure. I didn't quite see what happened, but excellent call there, Mitchell. And Utah, once again, on the power play where they've been very successful this evening and this weekend. And it really is interesting to think about these two games, because it's been a kind of a weird series. You have a San Diego State team last night that it can barely, field, right? You've got 11 skaters or whatnot, and it's a really close game and a well-fought game until the closing moments of the third period. And tonight you got a full roster, and this is the result, right? These things happen, but just an interesting thought.
Yeah, and one thing about that, and this comes from beer league experience, is that occasionally in beer leagues, you'll have a short roster, right? Like everybody pays to play, and life gets in the way sometimes, and you end up with eight or nine guys that show up to a game. And where the other team has 15, 16 players, a full roster for the most part for beer league. And sorry, I had to sneeze there. Didn't want to sneeze in your ear. And the team that has a shorter roster, shorter bench, oftentimes comes out ahead. And part of that is because whenever you're taking every other shift or you're double shifting, you're into the flow of the game. Right, like you're really dialed in to what's going on the ice, and every time you're on the ice, you're not getting a long enough break that you lose the flow of the game. And I think potentially that had something to do with it until they ran out of gas. I mean, I know we talked about that early in the broadcast, and I don't want to reiterate too much, but when you have that kind of mentality and you're just kind of in the flow of the game, sometimes you can be better than you are when you're sitting for you're playing for 30, 45 seconds, and then you're sitting on the bench for 2 or 3 minutes because you're cycling all 4 lines.
Absolutely, that makes sense. And San Diego State able to kill off that penalty as Faraz skated out of the box moments ago. Utes right back into the zone. Correa peeling back.
Looked like that could have been a hooking call.
Utes just moving the puck efficiently here. Crew check. There's a pass to Schwab, and a shot was deflected. Crew check back to Schwab. One-timer, and after some confusion, D's able to make the save. And
yeah, did you notice that play by Kruchek off the base of the net? He had a defender come and played it off the base of the net, moved to his right, got it, centered the pass, and got a really good one-time shot attempt off that. Play. I thought it was a nifty play. That's what I was trying to say, okay?
It was nifty.
It was nifty. Neato.
Fletcher. Oh, man, he Had some space there if he would have been able to get that shot off. Larilla from the point, just wide. So now it'll be Schneider. Schneider over to Crowley. Wide open net for Schneider, and puck just slides wide. There's Crowley, low slot, fires a shot, he scores! Through all the confusion, Joseph Crowley is able to slide that puck into the net, and it's 11-2.
It's the second goal of the night for Mr. Crowley. No, second point of the night. Nope, second goal. Time of that goal, by the way, 7:02 of the third period.
Here's that replay. Lots of confusion down there. That puck ends up sliding in. Here's a good look at it. There's not a lot to that shot.
And it looks like Fletcher got another point as well.
This looks like D was out of position. And Utah adding on here.
So Schneider and Fletcher on the assists on that goal. Time of that goal, 7:02, brings the score to 11-2. Shots are 60-14 in favor of the Utes.
Kept in at the line by Larillo there. There's a shot patted away by D. Utes all over the Aztecs, looking more a little bit more like the first period now.
Yeah, a little bit.
There's a shot. It looks like it actually hit the goal cage, and San Diego State able to whack that one out. 12 minutes to be played here in period number 3. Sykes, he skates it in. Aztecs back out the other way. They skate it in. That's Brown. Sends it towards the net, and the Utes will take over.
I think for San Diego, this is a game that's going to feel like absolutely zero puck luck is on their side, because they're like that play that just happened before this sequence here. You know, looking for a pass and it bounces off a skate, ends up outside the zone. You know, when you have numbers down low, it's just one of those nights for San Diego where no matter what they're doing. You know, because, I mean, their compete level's up. You know, I love the compete level that I'm seeing. Nobody has stopped skating on San Diego. Like, another point, you know, puck knocked out of the air.
Here's Kruchek driving in. He's eventually double teamed, but Zach Larilla scoops the puck up. Point pass. Sandberg over to Zach Larilla, fires a shot. Great save there by D.
Yeah, looks like we might have a May. Okay, the two players in front of the net are Toomey and Kruchek. They finally kind of separate, but Matt Orr hovering right over him, talking to him.
Kruchek skating in. Looks like they're battling once more. Utah has it. Zach Larilla. And now we'll get a whistle. Looks like Matt Orr has had enough. Both of them will probably go, if I had to guess.
Yeah, one would think. And
Toomey and Kruchek.
Probably both each for roughing. Time of those penalties, 9:31.
Ten and a half to go here in this third period of play. Stay tuned for our 7:30 matchup, which actually will probably be delayed with the outcome of this game. 7:30 is the scheduled puck drop for the women's team. They will be facing off against the University of Washington. That will be directly after this game ends. Their warm-up will begin, and then the puck will drop for that game.
Yeah, and last night's game between those two teams was a little bit of a blowout.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of a blowout.
Probably, yeah.
It was double digits. Let's just leave it at that, okay? You know, like I'm trying to be kind, man. But that's a new program.
It is. No, it is. It's and again, that's how it was when the University of Utah started their women's program as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's always every program at this level is going to have growing pains, and right now Washington is one of those programs that is right in the midst of the growing pains. And the Utes have a good team, so
if you're a major university like Washington or even for San Diego State here, you can, you can get there. You have the resources at your disposal. It's just a matter of putting the time in and willing to skate through some tough seasons. And brick by brick, you do get there.
Yeah, and player by player. I mean, it's just it's interesting as far as like recruiting goes, because a lot of teams that are trying to get going are able to get that one player that can kind of start the change, and then you have a little bit better season. The next year it's 2 or 3 players that you're able to recruit and get to commit, and then from there it just builds. Because as a program builds, as a records improve, so does your program.
That's right. And you get players that help you recruit, players that have friends that are good and whatnot that say, come play for this program. There's a one-time shot. They score. What a laser beam from the stick of Matthew Delaney. That is a thing of beauty right there. And they're just going to skate right back to the face-off circle. Well, we saw Paul Waldhauser yesterday.
Yep.
And, he was a little disappointed with his performance, maybe the team's performance a little bit. And he said, tomorrow he said more goals. And he said, not if, it will be.
Yeah, in the pregame we talked to a couple players that were frustrated. He was one of them, and he said to me, or us rather, yeah, it's going to be different tomorrow night. And that's exactly what we're seeing. So not surprised, because Paul Waldhauser, leading scorer on the team, I think he has 37 goals now, 36, 37 goals on the season. And he's the type of player, when he sets his mind to getting a goal, he's going to get a goal.
Yeah.
And
it shows, right? I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's a very talented player. Here's the replay on that. Look at this laser of a shot. I don't know if maybe that's not the replay.
No, that was his crew check, and Toomey were kind of rolling around, and they ended up getting penalties in the near corner just after that sequence.
Sending. Oh, my goodness. Sykes right
save.
there. That is a great save. And Sykes making good contact with that puck, but batting it out of midair. Sykes again with it towards the net. Pad save by D.
Yeah, good hustle there by Barber. Yep.
Schneider. He skates now for Utah. Peels back. Gibney. Looks like he runs into the official there.
Yeah, I think that should be a tripping on the guys in black and white with the orange. Because that was a really good trip.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking major penalty trip right there.
Johnson, wrist shot blocked at the last moment. Now it'll be San Diego State the other way. That was Timothy Mayer firing a shot there. Utes back the other way. That was Forey. Cross ice pass to Bisson. Puts one on net. Blocked.
What was the drummer's daughter's names? He had 2 daughters. What were their names?
Don't know.
And a 1 and a 2.
But
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we do have sound effects up here, actually.
Oh,
we are
no, we better not.
They're somewhere. At one point in time.
That's an off-air play.
Yeah, we'll
play
figure
around.
it out. We will figure that out.
But do not find that one. That could be very dangerous.
Here comes D coming out of the net. Schwab just offside there. Had to cycle back. Yeah, all these buttons over here used to light up and make.
They probably still do, but I'm illiterate where that is concerned.
Here's Zach Larilla. He looks for a top shelf shot and just goes high.
There you go. There you go.
Larilla dumps it in. Knuckling puck. Cradled there by Schwab. Kicks it forward and skates it in. Slap shot. Up and off the stick.
I got to say,
Hennigan.
Schwab, that was a beautiful trap with his skate.
That was soccer World Cup level right there. I mean,
I'm thinking
handles it with his skate.
He should try out for Team USA Soccer.
It's coming up, right? This summer.
Yeah. Is it too late for him to join that team?
I mean, I would say no if they know what's good for him, right?
I mean, a ball is round and it's bigger. This is 3 inch by 1 inch, and it's frozen.
There's a shot. Good save by D. And you know, they played footy before the games, right? I don't know. And, you know,
Suey?
kick a Suey. And, I don't know. World Cup summer coming up.
Yeah. You know, just heads up, USA Soccer, just saying.
I mean, yeah, it's USA Soccer. I mean, they could kind of use all the help they can get, right? I mean, they never won a World Cup.
No, they've always struggled. I think one year they made semis, or was it quarterfinals a number of years back?
Yeah, I mean, I can't recall them ever. I mean, they've made some knockout stage appearances, but I can't recall them ever actually winning the World Cup.
No.
Or, you know, I don't know.
But, hey, you know what? We got a hockey game in front of us.
That's
we
right.
should probably be talking hockey. Just saying. You know, trying to keep it real, bro. You know.
Bisson over to Slater. Excuse me, Correa. He circles back. Sending across the line. Waldhauser. Pickpocketed there. Looks like he's going to be able to skate right back and scoop it up. Over to Sendin. Sendin fires a shot, and it's saved by D.
Actually, it was saved by the goalie, not the D.
Saved by Liam D.
Thank you. I'm trying to get you to laugh a little bit like you were last period.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my color commentary has just gone straight down the tubes.
We're doing what we can up here.
Yeah, and so on something real quick that I noticed, you can see. Whoa, that's weird. Fast literally just ran right into Greilich there. No call, but that's okay. You know, 9-goal difference, 10-goal difference. But no, what I was going to say about San Diego is you can see the thoughts. They have the right thoughts of what they want to do. It's just not going their way tonight.
There's a shot ripped off the post.
Because the last time they had possession of the puck and they were driving down, a player tried to center the play, did so, sauced it a little bit, and it just floated over the stick. It went right to the stick of a University of Utah player, and you could hear the player making an audible, and it's just one of those games, no matter how hard they're trying, because, again, they are still skating. They're still working.
Yeah, and again, I think we had talked about it in the previous period. These are, game minutes. These matter, and it's high intensity. It's not just a scrimmage, even though the score could suggest so, but it's still, game intensity.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I love about college sports and about our sport of hockey is that you never see a team quit. We talk about the compete level in players, and the compete level for San Diego is highly commendable because they're giving it their all. I mean, you can clearly tell. And right now, the puck's just not bouncing their way. You know, D has faced a lot of shots, probably pretty tired at this point. You know, he's faced 70 shots, just 3 shy of what we ended up last night. There's a minute, 53 seconds left. So, you know, I mean, 70 shots in a game, much less 2 games in a row by one team is not something you see often, and it's not something a goalie sees often either.
Yeah, I mean, it is a lot of shots and back-to-back nights, and
albeit different goalies, but
still, I mean, it's a lot of defending, and it does take a lot out of you. But I will say, you know, for what this game is, I'm very pleasantly surprised with the fact we're not seeing a lot of cheap stuff after whistles and from either team, right? And in games like this, you can see that frustration. But credit to both teams. I mean, especially so San Diego State, when you're down like this, it's typical of that team to kind of partake. And I mean, right as I say that, we have 2 players going at it after the whistle, but for the most part, been pretty clean, pretty, you know, uneventful, which is a good thing. And I think it's because San Diego State, they're skating, they're still playing. They're not partaking in any of the nasty stuff, which is always a good thing to see. And you know, with just over 90 seconds left, it's good old hockey.
Yeah, and it's something that we talked about in the first period when we were up 4-0, I think, at the time. Is it how is the discipline of San Diego going to stack up? And honestly, very impressed. I mean, you know, having a one-off here and there, like, and there's only been 2 of them. Toomey and Kruchek, and right there, that was it wasn't Toomey. I think that was Staraz and Sykes. That's not a discipline. That's
right.
That's after a play where they're both going hard, and you know, I'm not going to blame anybody for that. As Utah takes a penalty here. Looks like it's going to be Cole Bisson. I did not see the penalty, so I'll listen for it so I can give it to you. Time of that penalty, 18:49.
So San Diego State will get to close this game out with a power play and a chance to get a goal back. They will control. Hannigan, cross-ice pass to Faraz, down low. That was Brown. And there's a shot from Elaraz, and it looks like that may have hit somebody on the bench, so they will get a whistle.
Yeah, and this is only their second power play opportunity of the game. The Utes are 2 for 5 on the night, and they killed off the first penalty. Let's see if they can kill off the last 42.9 seconds.
Yeah, so we will be back next weekend with more M1 hockey action. 9:30 Friday night, 7:30 Saturday night to close out the season here on home ice for the University of Utah. There's a shot just wide. And then tonight we've got the women's game just after this one, as they're facing off against Washington, to let you know of the other shows in our program. San Diego State skates it in.
And something else I want to mention about next weekend is the the M2 regionals, not just a league thing, but the M2 regionals are being
Western regionals, yes.
Yeah, Western regionals are being hosted by the University of Utah.
And with that horn, that will conclude things here. Utah will sweep the San Diego State Aztecs here on home ice. They're victorious tonight by a final score of 12-2. So home game number 8 goes down as a win. 2 more to go against UNLV. And well-fought series. Last night's game very well fought. Tonight obviously more of a blowout, but you know, you deal with some travel issues if you're San Diego State, and that's not in your control. The only thing you control is a good effort, and they put one out last night. Tonight, I'd say so again. You know, you do what you can, Mitchell, like you said, and play by play, and you know, hats off to both teams for a good series.
Yeah, you know, it was an entertaining series. I think last night's game was, for the fans at least, was probably a little bit more entertaining, especially given the circumstances of last night's game. Tonight's game, if you're a Utes fan and you're a diehard Utes fan, you loved this game.
Yes.
There was not a lot negative with the Utes game. And since we're talking about positives here, again, stemming the tide, 6 goals in the first period, 3 goals, or 2 and 4 in the second and third for the Utes. So that does speak on the defensive zone play and the goaltending of San Diego State. And then sticking with it the entire game, not giving up, continuing to battle all the way through. I mean, because if a player had given up, you wouldn't have seen Stiraz and Sykes kind of get into it a little bit. You know, nothing major happened, but you wouldn't see that kind of thing if a player was disengaged.
Didn't care, right?
Yeah. So to see that, you know, I love it. And if you think about it, like totally unbiased, regardless if you're a Utes fan or an Aztecs fan, if you look at the standings, you look at the records, you look at the competition or the strength of schedule, it's kind of how the game should have gone.
Yep.
And in collegiate sports, one of the things that's really hard to do is create parity.
Right.
And so
it's all based on your program and how much effort you put into it, right? And that's why you don't have a lot of parity.
Yeah.
You know, it's especially in the ACHA where it's kind of just the Wild West in terms of what you get. It's just there's a lot of programs.
80.
You know, and it different programs are at different stages. Some are newer, some are older, and you know, you don't get a lot of parity sometimes, and that, you know, it's just it's part of the game.
Yeah, and if you look at the feeder programs for collegiate, how many junior hockey leagues and how many junior hockey teams are there out there that these players play with prior to getting to the university level and playing collegiate hockey? So, I mean, there's a reason why there's only 0.01% of the population or 0.001% of the population that makes it to the NHL.
Right. It's not easy. And even playing, we talked about on the last night's broadcast, even getting to play ACHA hockey, it's a very small percentage of people that actually try out that, you know, want to get there, that, you know, have intentions of getting there, that actually get to play. So with that being said, it looks like we're getting ready ringside. Molly has John Correa ringside after the Utes win. Molly, take it away.
Hey, Utes fans. I'm with John Correa, and I just want to ask you, how did you like your team's performance tonight? What do you feel about it?
It was definitely way better than last night. Last night was tough. Struggled to score. We came out hot in the first period, scored a couple of quick ones. Struggled in the second, but then bounced back in the third. So overall, I'd say I'm pretty happy. Good tune-up for next week's bout with UNLV.
And is there anyone you want to dedicate this game to on this special day?
Yeah, I'd say probably my wife, Mary. She's up there cheering every weekend, cheering hard, and yeah, I love her.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next game.
Thanks, Molly. That was Molly down there with Jean Correa. The Utes walking back through the tunnel back to their locker room, victorious in a big one tonight, 12-2. Now, what'd you think, Mitchell? Any closing comments on that game?
I mean, it was what we were hoping for. It's kind of what we expected, just in the sense, like we talked about right before the interview, is if you look at the parity, it's just not there. I mean, it's almost impossible to create parity because the recruiting is really based program to program to program, and with as many, like you said, that are out there, it's hard to be competitive at the top level. It would be awesome if it was,
right?
But you know, you're always going to have a couple squads that just don't put up the numbers, or if they're newer, they're unable to draw in those players. Even though the location, San Diego, it's one of my favorite cities in the nation. It's kind of hard to recruit, especially for hockey. It's a beach going summer type of environment, not a winter sports environment. So the mentality's not there for hockey, but it's a beautiful location.
Great place to play hockey.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great place to play hockey. But, you know, tonight's game was kind of what we expected. The shots being what they were, 71, 72, similar to last night, 73. I think they had 15 shots on net total to ours, which is also very similar to last night. But the goal differential, definitely different. And that's what we wanted out of tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And then as we were kind of talking about in the broadcast a little bit, next week at 9:30, we will have Utah facing off against UNLV next Friday and 7:30 p.m. That will close out the season for the University of Utah. They're looking to clinch a national tournament berth and go to nationals. Big weekend ahead.
Oh, absolutely big weekend. We can't talk about it enough, to be honest with you. It's a team that we've had trouble beating in the past. I think with our depth, I think each time we play them, we just get a little bit closer to beating them. But they're a good program. We're a good program. We're both going to nationals. We're not clinched. They are. But I don't, even if we lost both games, I don't think we would drop out of national contention. But, you know,
in the players' minds and the University of Utah's minds, they're going to say, let's leave no doubt. Let's go beat them, hand them 2 losses in a row, and stride confidently into nationals.
Yeah, because let's think about this realistically. It's not just about nationals. I know we oftentimes at the end of the season, like we talk about nationals a ton. But let's look forward. Let's look to the following seasons. We've never been able to say we swept them.
That's right.
So there's that bragging rights sort of thing that we can take away from them. Yeah, you guys have had our number before, but guess what? We just beat you twice in a row, or we just beat you handily. Saying that or having that mentality going into next season, and you know, who knows what's going to happen next season, and then you look at the following season. So each year's building upon one another, and the Rebels from UNLV are kind of a measuring rod.
They really are.
And so if we can do well against them next week, you know, again, momentum for nationals, but nationals is a totally different situation, totally different ball game, as it were. But having that knowledge, hey, we just beat our league champions,
defending national champions.
And defending national champions. We just defeated them in our barn, boys. That means we can beat pretty much anybody, and it's so weird how the mentality game really does play into this sport. Because if you can go into a game confident, man, it means a lot more for your game. You can visualize things better. It slows the game down just that minuscule amount. Man, it can change things.
Makes a difference. So 9:30 next Friday?
I'm here.
Let's do it.
Yeah, baby.
So that's all the time we have left on this broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you so much for tuning in. We've got more hockey tonight for you. Please tune in to the next broadcast coming up right after this at about 8 p.m. It'll be the University of Utah women's skating Utes taking on the University of Washington. Once again, thank you so much for tuning into this broadcast. For everybody behind the scenes, for Mitchell Soft, for myself, Patrick Pregame, we're signing off from the Steiner Ice Arena. Utah victorious over San Diego State this afternoon, 12-2. We'll see you next weekend for the final home series of the season. Until then, take care, everybody.
Thanks for being my date tonight.